Every company should have training programs in place to support the manufacture of safe and quality food products. Employees can carry out their jobs if they are given sufficient, clear instructions regarding how, when, and where to carry out tasks. All relevant personnel, including temporary staff and contractors, should be trained at the beginning of the employment as a refresher once per year or whenever the need arises. They should also be continuously supervised during their employment period. The program should delegate who is responsible for providing the training. For instance, the department manager may train employees on their job role, and the QA manager may perform food safety and GMP-related training. There are 4 tools needed for an effective training program. The first tool is a training register, which is a tracking tool for employee training requirements. The register should indicate the trainer's name, participant name, skill requirements, description and date of the training, and the supervisor's verification of training completion and the trainee competency. Some training, such as personal practices, allergen control, color coding, hold programs, foreign material prevention, security, and health and safety, are applicable to all employees. With this training, everyone learns about the acceptable practices that contribute to the manufacturing of safe products. This can include the procedures set in place to prevent foreign material and allergen cross-contamination by implementing a color coding system and hold programs. Other training is position related, where only specific employees receive them. For example, recall training is provided for the recall team, HACCP training for the HACCP team, CCP training for the CCP operators, and training on the correct use of chemicals and inspection criteria for sanitation employees. In some other training, all employees may receive a general overview, while employees related to the task may receive more in-depth training. For example, all employees should receive training on crisis management to be aware of the proper actions to take during a crisis. For instance, in the case of any food safety or quality issues, they should know to alert management immediately. Whereas the crisis management team should receive more detailed training covering various crisis situations. In addition to general training, all employees should be familiar with all CCPs in the plant, if possible, or at minimum, be familiar with CCPs in the related working areas. The CCP operators who monitor CCPs, however, will require more in-depth training. All of these various training requirements on who should be trained and to what extent need to be captured in the register. The register should be reviewed and updated every year and whenever there is a change in staff or their job responsibilities. The second tool in the training program is a training sign log for employees and trainers to sign once training has been completed. This log should include subject of the training, trainer name, duration of the training, material used, participant names, signatures, and the date of the training. Another important tool is training material used for the various training subjects. Training can be conducted in a classroom or on the job by qualified personnel. Sometimes training can be offered through team meetings, PowerPoint presentations, and pre-recorded videos. Photos and diagrams are particularly useful tools to overcome language barriers or to simplify tasks that involves several steps. Providing printed work instructions during training can serve a valuable training reference for staff. Ensure training materials and the delivery of the training is provided in a language understood by staff. The fourth important tool is testing through quizzes. Quizzes are used to ensure employees understood the topics discussed. They are completed and corrected at the end of each training session and kept on file as a record. Additional training verification may be necessary by on-the-job observation to ensure employees were adequately trained to perform the designated job and that they are correctly following GMPs. Let's review an example of technical training procedure. Upon completion of a general training, employees should be given further technical training on the specific skills needed for their position. A production supervisor or an employee with a past experience in the work position may be approached to guide the new employee on how to perform the required tasks. Another option is to have the new employee undergo job shadowing. For either method used, the employee's performance will be monitored to ensure he or she is competent before working alone. Here are some additional guidelines to keep in mind. If an employee returns to work after an absence of 3 months or more, it must be ensured that he or she still has the required skills. If not, the employee must complete the entire job-specific training process over again. Any specialized training that cannot be completed internally, for example, equipment and regulation training, should be outsourced to a qualified and personal third-party trainer. For this case, all documentation in the form of certificates, letter of completion, or similar documents should be kept on file to verify successful completion of training. In the event of critical food safety cases with production or operational issues, emergency training sessions should be scheduled immediately. These trainings should include the proper actions to take or procedures to follow. The employees then must sign the employee's training log to indicate they were aware of the changes, understood the training, and complied with the action discussed. The training program should be reassessed annually to make sure it is up to date with food safety, security issues, and control programs. In order to create lasting change in behaviors and habits, ensure that learning happens before, during, and after scheduled training sessions. The process of doing, reflecting, learning, and doing again never really stops.